what goes up.
Oi, Marie! Oi, Marie!
Deep in the heart of Texas.
The shadow knows.
Oh, my red wine. I bet it's Manischewitz.
No, lady. I buy strictly American.
Time now for spinning my dad's vinyl. Here with all his skips, scratches, and pops is my dad, Frank Vaccarello.
Thanks, sweetie. And thank you for tuning in to episode 184 of Spinning My Dad's Vinyl. Almost everybody likes to show off their singing skills, whether they have some or not. In fact, karaoke bars have made a killing off that theory for decades. Back in the 1950s and 60s, there were a couple of TV shows that got viewers to sing along with them. Of course, Mitch Miller was also all the rage with his albums. This audience participation album is performed by the first woman in history to reach number one on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1960. It includes songs most of you should know because they have been recorded more than 1,500 times combined over the last 134 years. So, get ready to hear music that you might have heard cowboys sing around a campfire or drunkards bellow out at the bar in volume 184, Connie's Sing-Along.
I love to sing along to an old-fashioned sing-along song. 'Cause when I harmonize, I get the feel that I really belong. If I forget the words of singing, I keep the singing, la-da-dee-da-da-dee-da. And if I want to whistle, I just whistle. Bring back those melodies, the kind the boys in the barbershop sang. Come on and sound your rage, you thought it's fun when you're one of the gang. And you don't have to be Caruso, if you feel like singing, do so. Sing along to an old-fashioned sing-along song. I love to sing along to an old-fashioned sing-along song. 'Cause when I harmonize, I get to feel that I really belong. If I forget the words of singing, I keep singing, la-da-dee-da-da-dee-da. And if I wanna whistle, I just whistle. Bring back those melodies, the kind the boys in the barbershop sang. Come on and sound your rage, see what is fun when you're one of the gang. And you don't have to be Caruso, if you feel like singing, do so. Sing along to an old-fashioned sing-along song. An old-fashioned sing-along song.
Spinning My Dad's Vinyl.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the sky
is Connie Francis and the Jordanaires with Home on the Range, with music by Daniel E. Kelly and lyrics by Brewster M. Higley. This song started its life as a poem written by Dr. Brewster Higley in Smith County, Kansas in the early 1870s. Higley originally called it My Western Home. The poem was published in 1873 in the Smith County Pioneer as Oh, Give Me a Home Where the Buffalo Roam. A patient of Dr. Higley's persuaded him to have the words put to music, resulting in Home on the Range. The song quickly spread throughout the country, spawning lots of lyrical variation and disputes over the song's origins. Composition of the song has often been described to David Guion, who arranged a popular version of it in the 20th century. The actual writing credits of Kelly and Higley are now firmly established. It has been recorded 229 times, with the first recording in April 1927 by Vernon Dalhart. Now, I have gathered this data from secondhandsongs.com, and I will apply it to all of the songs except this next one. We opened the episode with the title track of the album, Sing Along, and I can't find any info on this version of any song called Sing Along. So I have no idea how many times it was recorded. There is another song with that title by, of course, Mitch Miller and others, but it's not the same tune or lyrics. Okay, why this record for this episode? Well, this is the second of 4 Connie Francis albums my dad had, so he must have thought good things about her music. He must have also liked these old sing-along standards. These songs have been recorded 1,536 times so far over the years. Yes, one of them accounts for nearly half of that number, and that'll obviously be later in this episode. By the way, since these songs are all so short, we will be playing the entire album. In fact, it's one of the shortest LPs I've ever seen, barely 21 minutes total. And speaking of short, these have seemed shorter lately.
Now all of you remember this one, so come on everybody, sing along with me. In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, strolling through the shady lanes with your baby mine. You hold her hand and she holds yours, and that's a very good sign that she's your tootsie wootsy in the good old summertime.
In the good old summertime.
Strolling in the park,
Good old summertime.
listen in the dark.
Strolling through the shady lanes with your baby mine.
Sweetest of them all.
Hold her hand and she holds yours, and that's a very good sign.
Very good sign.
That she's your tootsie wootsy in the good old summertime.
Now come on everybody, really sing along with me. In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, strolling through the shady lanes with your baby mine. You hold her hand and she holds yours, and that's a very good sign that she's your tootsie wootsy in the good old summertime.
Spinning My Dad's Vinyl.
I love you truly, truly dear. Life
That was I Love You Truly, written by Carrie Jacobs Bond, and it was recorded 84 times. The first recording was on June 4th, 1912 by Elsie Baker with orchestra and released in August of that year. Before that, we heard In the Good Old Summertime, written by George Evans and Ren Shields. That song has been recorded 86 times. Two versions were released in 1902 by J.W. Myers and William Redman. According to SecondHandSongs.com, both the Myers and Redman versions of this work entered the charts in October 1902. The Myers recording reached number 1 and stayed on the charts for 12 weeks. Redman's version reached number 3 and stayed on the charts for 5 weeks. We have not been able to determine which was recorded or released first. Many sources say that this song was introduced by Blanche Ring in the musical comedy The Defender, which opened on July 3rd, 1902. In fact, the song had already been sung on vaudeville stages prior to its use in The Defender. Okay, let me tell you about my dad's vinyl I have chosen for this episode. Connie Francis and the Jordanaires, Brylcreem presents Sing Along with Connie Francis. It's on the Matey Moore Super Records label, number 8002. It is a vinyl LP album mono format in Indianapolis pressing. It was released in 1961. Its genre is pop and its style is vocal. And like I mentioned, we will hear all 10 tunes from this LP. The liner notes are short, so I will read them all. In case you haven't heard, royalty these days isn't confined to Europe and Asia. Here in America, we have our own queen, and by all indications, she's far and away the most enchanting monarch in history. I refer, of course, to the undisputed queen of music, Connie Francis. And what other reigning monarch averages 8,000 letters a week from happy subjects who drop a note just to say how wonderful they think she is? From the time of her first smash record hit, Who's Sorry Now, to this present album, her newest and by all counts her biggest, she has forged for herself a permanent place among the great stars of the entertainment world. Here we have the best female singer of the year according to Cashbox, the most programmed vocalist of the year for Billboard, the best female vocalist of the year by Photoplay's first Gold Medal Award, and the 3-time best singer of the year by a write-in vote of more than 100,000 coast-to-coast television viewers. All this reflecting 7 gold records and 23 million records sold. And just as she reaches the very peak of the music industry, Queen Connie blithely moves into the realm of movie stardom with her delightful acting in the MGM movie Where the Boys Are. The leading nightclubs in the land have played host to her, and whether it's the Sahara in Las Vegas or the Copa in New York, the newspapers one and all have placed her at the zenith of her profession. Little wonder, then, that we are pleased to bring you Connie Francis singing these new songs. We think this album will extend her reign for a long, long time. Now that's on the bottom half of the back cover. The upper half is an ad for Brylcreem, complete with a tube of the hair grooming cream. There is artwork of a young blonde female getting ready to run her hands through the hair of a young dark-haired male. The lyrics from the old Brylcreem jingle is written beside them. Now, I'm not going to sing it because you definitely don't want to hear that, but I am going to play it.
Brylcreem, a little dabble do ya? Brylcreem, you look so debonair. Brylcreem, the gals will all pursue ya. They'll love to get their fingers in your hair.
Use Brylcreem and put life in your hair.
I bet that brought back some memories. Okay, let's see what prices this record is being sold at on Discogs.com. $8.30 for a high and a nickel for a low. That gives it a $3.36 average and a $2.39 median. It was last sold on June 19th, 2024, just a few days ago, for 99 cents. Now, my dad's record is in good condition. Not many crackles or much hiss at all, as it should be since there were very few, if any, marks on the album's surface itself. The cover, however, is in poor condition. Lots of discoloration and scuff marks on the colorful front that features a photo of Connie wearing a typical blouse from the early 1960s with her hands behind her head, very relaxed posture. The black and white back cover has some wear marks as well. The edges are worn and a little torn, and there's enough of a tear along the bottom seam to allow the record to just peek through. The word posted is stamped on the back along with the green magic marker, and he has his address label on the front cover. So I will value my dad's vinyl at 50 cents. Okay, how did that old saying go? I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
You had a dream, dear. I had one too. Mine was the best dream because it was of you. Come, sweetheart, tell me, now is the time. You tell me your dream, I'll tell you mine. You had a dream, dear. I had one too. Mine was the best dream because it was of you. Come, sweetheart, tell me, now is the time. You tell me your dream, I'll tell you mine. You tell me your dream, I'll tell you mine.
Spinning my dad's vinyl.
Down in the valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, hear the wind blow, hang your head over, hear the wind blow. Roses love sunshine, violets love
Down in the Valley. That's a folk song found in Appalachia, the American South, and lower Midwest. The song was collected by folklorist and professor at the University of Missouri, Henry Marvin Belden, in 1909. Most of the first recorded versions of this song were called Birmingham Jail, based off the paragraph of lyrics referring to the jail in Birmingham, Alabama. Guitarist Jimmy Tarleton claimed to have written the Birmingham Jail paragraph of lyrics in 1925 while he was jailed in Birmingham for moonshining, which is very possible since he and his partner Tom Darby were the first to record this as Birmingham Jail on November 10th, 1927 in Atlanta, Georgia. It was recorded 107 times, first released in December 1927 as Birmingham Jail by Darby and Tarleton. It was first recorded under the name Down in the Valley by the Andrews Sisters with Vic Schoen and his orchestra in December 1943. Before that was You Tell Me Your Dream, I'll Tell You Mine, written by Charles N. Daniels, Seymour Rice, and Albert H. Brown. It was recorded 75 times, and it was first recorded on February 25th, 1928 by Charles Winters and Elond Autry. Now, we really touched on Connie Francis and her struggles in life, along with her accomplishments in episode 63 of this show. And since none of the 4 Francis albums my dad owned featured her first big hit, I thought I would talk about how Connie thought she was finished in the music business before her career even got started. Francis considered a career in medicine and was about to accept a 4-year scholarship offered at New York University. At what was to have been her final recording session for MGM on October 2nd, 1957 with Joe Lipman and his orchestra, she recorded a cover version of the 1923 song Who's Sorry Now, written by Bert Kalmer and Harry Ruby. Francis has said that she recorded it at the insistence of her father, who was convinced it stood a chance of becoming a hit because it was a song adults already knew and that teenagers would dance to if it had a contemporary arrangement. Francis did not like the song and argued about it with her father heatedly, delaying the recording of the 2 other songs during the session so much that she thought no time was left on the continuously running recording tape. Her father insisted, though, and when the recording Who's Sorry Now was finished, only a few seconds remained on the tape. The single seemed to go unnoticed, like all previous releases, just as Francis had predicted. But on January 1st, 1958, it debuted on Dick Clark's American Bandstand. Francis watched the show and wrote in her diary, "I heard Dick Clark mention something about a new girl singer. So what else is new? Another girl singer. There are 95 million females in the country, and I'll bet 95% of them sing. There's no doubt about it," predicted Mr. Clark. "She is headed straight for the number 1 spot." I began feeling sorry for myself and a bit envious, too. Good luck to her, I thought. And when Mr. Clark just happened to play a song called Who's Sorry Now, my Who's Sorry Now, well, the feeling was cosmic, just cosmic. Right there in my living room, it became Mardi Gras time and New Year's Eve at the turn of the century. That's the end of the diary entry. And on February 15th of that same year, Francis performed Who's Sorry Now in the first episode of the Saturday Night Beechnut Show, which was also hosted by Clark. By mid-year, over 1 million copies had been sold, and Francis was suddenly launched into worldwide stardom. In April 1958, Who's Sorry Now reached number 1 on the UK singles chart and number 4 in the US. For the next 4 years, Francis was voted the best female vocalist by American Bandstand viewers. In December 2017, Francis released her most recent autobiography, Among My Souvenirs. Connie Francis is 86 years old. I also wanted to introduce you to the backing band for the album, a group who had a good thing going for a long time. The Jordanaires were an American vocal quartet that formed as a gospel group in 1948. Over the years, they recorded both sacred and secular music for recording companies such as Capitol Records, RCA Victor, Columbia Records, Decca Records, and many others. In the 1950s, with a lineup of Gordon Stoker, first tenor, Neil Matthews, second tenor and lead vocals, Hoyt Hawkins, baritone and lead vocals, and Hugh Jarrett on bass vocals, they also began lending their vocal talents to other artists as background singers in recording sessions. They are widely known for having provided background vocals for Elvis Presley in live performances, recordings, and feature films from 1956 to 1970. Jarrett was replaced by then-teacher Ray Walker in 1958, and that was the lineup that recorded this record. The group worked in the recording studio, on stage, and on television with many country, gospel, and rock and roll artists. They appeared on all of Patsy Cline's Decca sessions, from her first in November 1960 to her last in February 1963. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Sister Rosetta Tharpe toured with the Jordanaires in the late 40s and early 50s, one of the first multiracial gospel pairings. Ray Walker is still alive at 90 years old. Hoyt Hawkins died in 1982 at 55. Hugh Jarrett died at 78 on May 31, 2008, from injuries sustained in an auto accident that past March. Gordon Stoker died at 88 in his Brentwood, Tennessee home on March 27, 2013, after a long illness. His son Alan confirmed that the Jordanaires were formally dissolved per his father's wishes. Next up, I don't think she's singing about the wine.
My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from our wild Irish rose. That was wonderful. Now let's take it from the top, and this time everybody sing. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose.
My Wild Irish Rose, written by Chauncey Alcott. And that song was recorded 106 times. Its first live performance was on January 9th, 1899 by Alcott, and was first recorded on March 22nd, 1899 by Mr. A.C. Campbell. Time now for this episode's interesting side note, and it has to do with the song that you just heard and that earliest known recording of it. I found it interesting that the version Connie recorded only included 2 times through the chorus. There was no hint at the verses. And since I wanted to hear that earliest recorded version, of course, I went looking for it. And I found it. Thank you, Internet and YouTube. I immediately noticed that there was not only some nifty piano work, but there was the first verse, played first. Let me play it for you.
My Wild Irish Rose, sung by Mr. George J. Gaskin for the Columbia Phonograph Company. If you listen, I'll sing you a sweet little song of a flower that's rather old and dead. Dear are my fawn and the world's brightest star, and my fawn are my wild Irish rose, my wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose, my wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose.
So there's an interesting piece of music history from 125 years ago. This next song is also indelibly burned on everybody's brain.
Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and days of auld lang syne? For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and days of auld lang syne? For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne.
There is Auld Lang Syne. Now, I've talked about the origin of this song during a New Year's episode. Robert Burns claimed that this song is an old song of the olden times, which has never been in print nor even in manuscript until I took it down from an old man's singing, unquote. Actually, a lot of poems with similar lyrics were written before Burns' adaptation, the oldest being probably Auld Kindness for Yet, found in the 1568 Benedictine manuscript. The song was first published in the Scots Musical Museum. The title means Old Long Since. It has been recorded 721 times, first released in 1890 by Emil Berliner. That's the inventor of the gramophone, you know, the turntable with the big horn for a speaker that the little dog stares at. Well, here is that first recording. By the way, that was probably played back at more than 100 RPM. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. I remember singing a couple of these songs either at a church youth group outing, a Boy Scouts campfire, or being a drunkard in a tavern somewhere. Only partially kidding about that, but never karaoke. What this album was a reminder of some of the simpler times in the lives of Americans who were living during those years. My parents had gotten married a couple years before this album came out, and it would be another year until I came out. And in turn, this album reminds me of the days of my youth, which were pretty much carefree as these songs are. Okay, let's see. We've gone from a redhead and now to a strawberry blonde.
You all know the story about Casey and his darling little sweetheart, don't you? Well, if you don't, gather round, 'cause here's how the story goes. Casey would waltz with the strawberry blonde and the band played on. He'd glide across the floor with the girl he adored and the band played on. But his brain was so loaded it nearly exploded. The poor girl would shake with alarm. He'd nearly the girl with the strawberry curls and the band played on. Well, that was real fine, but I think we can do it just a little bit better this time. Casey would waltz with the strawberry blonde and the band played on. He'd glide across the floor with the girl he adored and the band played on. But his brain was so loaded it nearly exploded. The poor girl would shake with alarm. He'd nearly the girl with the strawberry curls and the band played on. Hey Ray, that bass part was a little weak. And Millie, bring up that soprano a little more, okay? Now, come on, everybody. Get with it this time. Casey would waltz with the strawberry blonde and the band played on. He'd glide across the floor with the girl he adored and the band played on. But his brain was so loaded it nearly exploded. The poor girl would shake with alarm. He'd nearly the girl with the strawberry curls and the band played on.
Spinning My Dad's Vinyl.
There's a tavern in the town, in the town. There my true love can be found, and his heart is filled with laughter gay and free. And he never thinks of me. Very well, for I must leave. We do not let the parting grieve. And remember that the best of friends must part, must part. Adieu, my friends, adieu. Yes, adieu. I can no longer stay with you. Stay with you. I will hang my heart on a weeping willow tree. And may the world go well with thee. Dig my grave both wide and deep, wide and deep. Tombstones at my head and feet on my tombstone carve a pretty turtle dove to signify I died of love. Farewell, for I must leave thee. Do not let the parting grieve thee. And remember that the best of friends must part, must part. Adieu, adieu, my friends, adieu. Yes, adieu. I can no longer stay with you. Stay with you. I will hang my heart on a weeping willow tree. And may the world go well with thee.
I think the children sing that just a little differently. Did you hear it? Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. That was Tavern in the Town. Now, several sources suggest this song was derived from the English ballad There Is an Ale House in the Town. earliest published versions appeared in the 1880s when it was associated with Ivy League colleges in the U.S. It was recorded 65 times, with the first release in July 1917 from Mr. Peter Dawson with chorus and orchestra accompaniment. Before that was And the Band Played On, written by John F. Palmer and Charles B. Ward. Palmer heard the song in New York played by a German street band. Ward's role in the creation of this work was apparently minimal. Palmer wrote both words and music, and Ward purchased the work, making minor changes. It has been recorded 63 times, first recorded and released in 1895 by Dan Quinn. And there you have the entire album from one of the top-selling artists of the 1950s and 60s. So thanks for tuning into volume 184, Connie's Sing-Along However You Did. If you want more information about this show, head over to spinningmydadsvinyl.com. I'll be back next week with all my skips, scratches, and pops for volume 185, Golden Memories of Radio, Record 5. Until then, go with the flow, my friends.